やってたデータ処理。まあね、そうだ。甲子園始める。あ、全部。すごいくらい見られてる。ただなんか今日はそこまでダーできてないから、現実だけど、シェアの時間になかった。夜の。Hello? Hello. Hello again. Of course, everyone who's been to previous live streams, you know Kaz, some Dizon here. We'll be watching the Koshien lottery on TV and streaming at the same time. Um, we're also joined by a special guest. Um, just one second. We're also joined by a special guest. Many of you probably know him. If you've been following Koshien baseball for a long time, you definitely know him. He is Goro Shigeno from Koko Yaku, or some people may know his real name as Edwin. Hello, Edwin. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is there anything like to add, throw in?
Say again? Sorry.
Anything you'd like to add, or
No, I mean, I'm good. I mean, people who have read my blog for a while now. It's been a lot of just live blogging of games, and along with my Twitter account, just going action play by play. It's probably not as extensive as it was in the past, but unfortunately, life calls, so I haven't been able to do as much in terms of prefectural brackets and whatnot. But I always make sure to go ahead and cover the tournament live as much as I can.
yes? And for those of you who haven't been to the site, I highly suggest going. Let me provide a link in the section. It has a very very good site. Uh, the section, and I will chat box right now as well. Um, if there's probably won't be able to provide as much coverage as you had in the past, but it's still by far one of the best places, especially if you want to know your game. So I play common. On Kaz, over here, the Koshien starts like 7. So there, just to let you know what's going on TV right now. I can't really show you the stream, for obvious reasons. But now the schools are sitting, well, are in the kind of theater, and there's a board back in the 8th Koshien, and there's the brackets. I'll be selecting drawing picks shortly. Actually, 私もあんまりよくわかんない。
各校のキャプテンが誕生になる。
What Kaz is talking about right now is talking about how the actual process of Audrey, talking about how it's done right now. And right now on the stage, captains from each of the teams get up on the stage, and their teammates are sitting in the audience. And if the captain picks a wrong or a bad team or a bad pick, then then his teammates kind of ride into him for that pick. And there's shots of various school teammates right now. They're all looking very serious. And I guess they're starting now. Hokkai. So Hokkai, they selected 20B. I think the next team is Clark. First appearance. They selected 19D.
So that's what, day 6?
Sorry, what was that?
Is that day 6?
I think. Sorry, let me just check real quick here. 20. Right, 6. Hachioji A, 16A is day 5.
First slot, game 5, day 1, or day 5, game 1.
Kanto Daiichi 12A, which is
day 4, game 1.
First game of the second round. He was just saying that Kazu was saying that teams that get their picks can get Koshien much more.
北海道と東京先に引いたの。北海道は北と南に分かれて、西は西と東大丈夫。そういうところが分かるように、先に。
Talking about how they're trying to avoid teams from the same region against each other, so they're splitting the region. Right now it's Hokkaido and Tokyo. There are no actual matchups yet. It's a commercial right now, so. As far as I know, haven't been published it anywhere. Maybe on, I don't know. Edwin, are you following Twitter right now?
Yeah, I am. But like, the only thing I've actually seen so far is the 12A from, was it Kanto Daiichi?
Okay. Okay.
But was 12A day 4, game 1?
Okay, let me see. There's actually a Sports Navi. August 10, game 1, Kanto Ichiko. Wait, sorry. Shuetsu, we're doing the selections again. Commercial's over. Shuetsu. Sorry, this is new to me, so I haven't. Doing Tohoku now. Tohoku is NA day 3, game 3.
Right.
Naruto 1B.
So they get opening game then.
Opening game. Daiichi, 17A.
Middle game day 5.
17A, game 5, day 5, game 2. So I think it's Shuetsu and Toyama, right? 18A for Aibashi.
And that's the last game on day 5.
Oita, 5B.
Day 2, game 2?
Day 2, game 2. Yes. And then Yokohama, ND. Day 3, game 3. Tohoku and Yokohama.
Oh, that should be fun.
That should be interesting. Yeah. 14B for Ayama.
Last game day 4.
Looks like game 3. Game 3. Izumo 2A.
So second game day 1.
8A for Nagasaki. A 3, game 1.
3 game
21A for
Which school?
sorry, that was Hanasaki Tokuhara 15A. There were 2 schools that went by that I. There's no matchups given. Kyukyo 5A.
Well, we have a matchup there. They're facing somebody.
Yes. Shukyo and Oita, I think, right? Kyushu Kokusai 3A.
So they're playing on first day, last game.
Hiroshima Shinjo 12B.
First game on day 4.
Yes. And they're playing against Kanto Ichiko, yes. 11B.
So last game day 3.
15B 大曲がり。
Last game on day 4.
Yeah. 北陸 70.
That's the last game on day 2. So let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can find matchups. It's like we mentioned about Kanto Daiichi and Hiroshima Shinjo. We have Chukyo versus Oita, Tohoku versus Yokohama, Toyama Daiichi versus Chuetsu.
Karatsu B.
Which one?
Karatsu 23B.
So first game on day 7.
Yes. Jinsei Gakuen was what, so, the board ring. Shinohei B.
That's first game on day 3.
Seven A for Toho.
Oh, somebody just went in there because that was the last game on day 2.
Toho is the last game on day 2.
Somebody else drew into that spot, right?
9A. Yeah, someone else. Yeah, there's another team. Hachinohe and Kagawa Gakuen. 6A.
Oh, okay. Third game, day 2.
Inabe is 4A. Inabe Sogo 4A.
So first game on day 2.
First game on. ED.
Which one?
Morioka.
Oh, Morioka Daifuzoku.
Yep.
So so it's 3.
EB. They're doing a Kyushu.
Oh.
Asahi Shogyo 9B.
Second game on day 3.
Yamanashi Gakuen Nagasaki. Matsuyama is 20A. Going against right. Kazu 3A.
It's like the last game, or it's like what's day 7, game 2?
Yeah, second. First game on the last day.
Oh, okay, that's right. Sorry.
A for Nichinan Gakuen. So you're up against Hachio. Isoku 4A.
Okay.
That's the last day. 1B.
Day 6, game 3.
They'll be going against Jinsei. That was the one I think I missed before. Yep. Team just drew B. A2B. So Tokuha Gakuen. Total 13A. 2B. Yeah, 18A.
Last game, day 5. Oh, they're playing Maebashi Ikue.
Yes, Maebashi. Goro. 25A. Only 11A. Close up. Hawkeye 24B. Isha has not been. Isha hasn't selected yet. Saku 1A. Isha 6B. Going against Kagawa Gaku.
Yeah.
山口県出身。あと、
Seiyo 14A.
So.
Okayama. Shiga. Okay, so Shiga. I'll be going in. That's it for moderator. Kind of a mess. I don't know if it really.
ちょっと言うのに緊張しちゃって水さん置いてけぼりだった。
The vehicle thing is.
今盛り上がってたのは、一番の停車。最後が最初入ってた。キングゲームに停車が来るんじゃないかな。なくなりました。
Yeah, there's actually a couple people here right now, and we were all getting kind of excited about the possibility of Isha on the first day. But that sort of happened.
うちはよくあるんです。東京と千葉。感じだったの。うちは結構ここ。
Kazu said that there's some kind of matchups like Chiba and Tokyo, but this year it seems a lot of the schools are separated with Hokkaido, actually some distance.
で、今、壇上では、選手宣誓を
On stage, while the captains are lining up.
これ挙手制なんですよ。選手宣したい高校のキャプテンは手を挙げてくださいって言って出るんです。学校から行けって言われてたら。
So the person who actually does the, I guess it's the player's oath at the start. They get selected. All captains are lined up on the stage, and it's supposed to be a voluntary. And they're supposed to step forward if they're interested. Or, well, they're picking. Actually, they get little envelopes that are on the table. I guess whoever gets that ticket has to. Yamazaki captain. Yamazaki captain will be reading.
兵庫県代表の一律の福岡聞きました。甲子園がある、兵庫県がヒットしたんで。
He drew the winning ticket. So he'll be doing the players. Maeda Daiki?
Captain.
Captain.
以上で出揃いました。あっという間でしたが、追いかけられなくてすいません。
Yeah. Kaz was saying, was apologizing for not really being able to
見入っちゃいましたよ。
provide all the commentary. It just sort of, it kind of happens pretty quickly.
かなりスピードでしたね。せっかくなんで注目カードを紹介したいな。一番注目度が高いのが履正社。
Okay, Kaz is he's going through the list right now, and one of the most, I guess, well, one of the bigger schools here in Japan that people are kind of interested in is Hiseisha.
が2日目。
They'll be playing on day 2.
普段プロ野球のない月曜日。
So it'll be on a day where there's no baseball.
1時が
Starts at 1 o'clock.
たくさんの人が見てます。あとは次の日の
Day 3, game 3,
東北高校対
Tohoku and Yokohama game. That should be another good game.
はまだ優勝したことないんですよね。東北勢まだ、
Tohoku hasn't won the Koshien yet, so
なんですけど、横浜は優勝候補なので。
Yokohama has those.
Well, this will be the first test for Yokohama really under their new manager, right?
I think so.
横浜新達。
Yeah, exactly. They're
部長も変わりました。
here too, so it should be a very interesting game.
多分一番の
I just think that might be the most interesting matchup.
4日目は
Day
これも中国校浜崎
Game 4, Omagari. That matchup.
一番
Game 4 it starts at 15:30.
注目。エドウィンです。12日金曜日。
Day 6.
清学園対
Kinsei Gakuen, Koshien Gakuen.
5注文
Both schools are very famous and long histories, so in that sense, very matchup history.
この辺りかな。
Are there any particular matchups you might be interested in?
I'm kind of just. Unfortunately, you guys have the full schedule out before. I'm trying to find it all, but usually I like to see how the first timers do. So, looking at where all those teams are at is usually something I'd like to see. And if they're facing somebody that they could possibly not get annihilated on the first round with.
Let me help you fill your schedule. What days?
Well, I found a place that has that is slowly putting all the games up. So, unfortunately for like if I'm just going through day by day, unfortunately for Izumo, they get the Haru Koshien champions Chiben Gakuen, but judging from their qualifying in the Nara prefecturals, they seemed a little bit shakier than I thought they would be. So, but unfortunately for Izumo, I don't think they'll stand a chance, at least from what I can tell. Let's see here. You guys are mentioning about Takagawa Gakuen versus Riseisha, but realistically, Yamaguchi, at least a good chunk of the Chugoku region, hasn't really produced a whole lot of strong teams. So I didn't think I really paid yet the representative from Yamaguchi, whoever it was, and then it became Takagawa Gakuen, as being providing much of a resistance to any team. So Riseisha should probably just get an easy game on the second day. Day 3, Shiritsu, is it Amagasaki, right? Day 3, Shiritsu Amagasaki from Hyogoken.
Right. Amagasaki.
They're facing Kosei, formerly Kosei Gakuin, now Hachinohe Gakuin Kosei. Kosei's probably had a good, strong history, especially when they reached 3 finals and lost all 3. So it'll probably be a tough test for them. But it'll be interesting to see how they can hold up. As mentioned, the Tohoku versus Yokohama, you have a lot of different things in play. Like, Tohoku got its name mostly because of Yu Darvish. They had their best results under them, but they hadn't really been able to do a whole lot with it. And of course, the managers had since left, and I'm not even sure if he's managing over at Kyushu Kokusai Daifuzoku still. I don't think he is.
I'm not too into that, so I can't really answer that question. But
yeah, it turned out that the Kantoku, when Yu Darvish was there at Tohoku, went to Kyushu Kokusai Daifuzoku. So, I mean, they were basically working from scratch. So that for them to come out of Miyagi is I think is probably a testament to the fact that they're trying to rebuild their program. Compare that to Yokohama, who's lost their manager of I don't know how many years, and they've quickly found their way back. So that should be an interesting game. Let's see here. Day 4. Day 4, definitely we want to look and see how Kanto Daiichi does against Hiroshima Shinjo. They were fortunate this time around that they didn't have to face Nisho Gakusha Daifuzoku for the title. Made it a lot easier for them to get to Koshien. They've always had a strong team, and I'd like to see how they'll fare in their opening game. Let's see here. Day 5. Kadena has always been what I would call a tier 3 school, in the fact that they've always been a strong team, but they've never been able to break the ceiling to get into Koshien. So the fact that they made it there is obviously great. They'll get Mayabashi Ikuei, who their one time they made it to Natsu Koshien and won it all. But I think it'll be one of the more it's probably an easier pairing for them, so there's probably a better chance of them to advance. Probably I'd have to take a look at Nichinan Gakuen, but for Hachioji, for their first ever game at Koshien, facing a team like that, Nichinan Gakuen's a fairly established team at Koshien. You've seen them make a couple appearances, so it's not like as if they're an easy pairing per se, but they could have drawn worse. Let's see here. Day 6. Personally, for Clark Kokusai, I think drawing Seiko Gakuin is probably one of the better draws they could have, even though Seiko Gakuin is now been to Koshien for what, the 10th time in a row. The games I saw for Seiko Gakuen weren't all that great, especially the semifinals and finals.
Right.
And with Clark Kokusai getting the former Komodai Iwamizawa Kantoku, because I didn't realize that Komodai Iwamizawa actually had shut down. Having that Kantoku and getting that school to its first title that quickly, that matchup might actually get Clark Kokusai their first win if they can, with that matchup.
I think that's pretty good. That might be actually a pretty good game to watch in terms of balance.
Probably. I mean, Seiko Gakuen, even though they've been to Koshien 10 years in a row now, haven't actually been all that strong of a school at Koshien. So for Clark Kokusai, it's probably one of the better teams they could have drawn outside of, like I said, maybe like a Takagawa Gakuen or something like that. Let's see here. Now I heard Kaz say something about Jinsei Gakuen in Game 3, and I see that they've actually had history of going to Koshien, but nothing really recently. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. And unfortunately, Sakushin Gakuen, it's not exactly a easy landing for their first game back. Let's see here, and then finally, let's see here, day 7. Oh.
I just asked Kaz about Jinsei Gakuen.
Okay.
He doesn't. I mean, I don't think he knows anything specific about the school. Other than that, they're fairly strong year in year out.
Yeah, they are. I mean, like I said, I consider, like, when I talk about school, like on my blog, I talk about teams and tiers, and like tier 1 schools are like the Osaka Toins, even like the Seiko Gakuen, who you can almost write in as going to Koshien every year. Tier 2 schools are schools that kind of like rotate on a regular basis. So like, Waseda Jitsugyo or Nichidai-san or schools like that, where you'll see them at Koshien on a regular basis, but you can't just say they're going to make it automatically. And then for me, like a tier 3 school would be a school that, I see them progress deep down the prefectural brackets, but then they'll run into a Nichidai-san, or they'll run into an Osaka Toin, or they'll run into a Mie, and they just won't be able to win that game. But they always make a deep run.
Right.
So, in recent times, at least from what I've been covering it, Jinsei Gakuen falls under one of those tier 3 schools who have always done well, but who haven't necessarily been able to break through as of late. So, but looking at through their history, yeah, they have made Koshien, but it's just been a while since they've actually, made it.
彼は結構見てて、人生学園っていうのはなかなか強いんだけども、最後まで今年はなんかそれがうまくいった。最後の方。Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's. Let me. There's actually someone who commented. Roller Coaster Freak. Sorry. Yeah, he's asked a question about who will be in the tournament this year that might scout it or for the draft this coming.
そうか。
はい。
で出てくるやつ。注目されてなかった。そうだ。で、みたいな。見る機会がある。今年はでも、弊社の八島と、
just the audio right here. You guys hear better?
これピッチャー。
He says Terashima and Hashi from Hanasaki. Can you any better? I upped the volume. I upped it up a little bit.
世界的に去年の小笠原騒がれてるんですけど、
Jida is another one. Terashima is Riseisha. You guys hear me now? I'm upping the mic volume here. I don't know if that's helped. I'm kind of like an air conditioning unit in this room that's kind of loud. I don't know if that's drowning out the sound or not. Yeah, there's basically 3 high school pitchers this year that are there's actually all 3 of them are going to come up on day 2, each one is going to pitch day 2, day 3, day 4.
なんで同じ日に全員出てこなくて、2日目の水曜寺島が見れて、
Day 2 is going to be Terashima, Riseisha Terashima. Day 3
横浜の
is Yokohama's Fujihira.
で3日目に
And day 3
Hanasaki's
Takahashi.
なんで見逃せない日々が続く。
So if you want to catch, players that NTD teams are really keeping an eye on right now, it would probably be those 3 players. So day 2, day 3, day 4, those 3 days in a row. They're all kind of in the afternoon, I think.
午後1時、午後
1
1
o'clock,
時、
1 o'clock,
午後3時半、
3 o'clock.
午後の仕事の忙しい時間なんですけど、多分日本の野球ファンは仕事にならないと思いますよ。
Yeah, this is saying maybe Japanese fans over here probably won't be able to focus too much on work. They'll want to watch the games.
Yeah, it looks like all 3 of those pitchers recorded over 10 Ks per 9 during the prefectural tournaments.
Put up some really crazy numbers, I think.
But the thing is that looking at the competition that they faced, I think only really Fujihira had a decent road to follow, because they had to play in their final 3 games Yokohama Hayato, Toko Gakuen, and then Keio Gijuku for their final 3 games. And none of those 3 teams are pushovers whatsoever. Riseisha didn't even have to face Osaka Toeing because they lost early on. Probably the toughest competition they faced was in the 4th round against is it Higashi Osaka Dai? Oh gosh, I can't remember that last bit. They were at Koshien a couple of years ago. Kashiwara, that's it. And then I guess you could count Honko Osaka in their championship game, but they didn't really face anybody that strong. And for Sakshin Gakuin, they faced Kokogakuin Tochigi last year and just annihilated them, so you can't really put anything into that. Probably the best indicator of what the potential might be would be their game against Bunsei Geidai Fuzoku. where they won 6-4, and in that game, what was it? Oh wait, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's not Section Cup. We were looking at what was the other school that we were looking at?
Let's see.
Oh, it was Hanasaki Tokuhara. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, well, I mean, Hanasaki Tokuhara did face Kasukage Kyoei and Seibo Gaku in their final two games, so that's not pushover competition. And I mean, they only gave up 3 runs, and that was in their opening game. After that, they put up a whole bunch of donuts.
There are other players I on. I'll be publishing like a list of players to watch again last year. Try to post something up maybe Friday. Friday, I think. And yeah, Sunday. So yeah, you'll be able to see the list at least definitely before the starts.
まあ、今日の発表を受けてしたので、もちろんやっていくしていただいて。
Media over here, now that the matchups are out, the media is probably going to ramp up their on matchups and players. So of course be providing that information as well.
バーチャルコープがついてしてるの。
知ってます。結構それで見てるし。
私もそれで見れるはずなので、一緒に楽しんでほしいですね。
And you know, those of you that don't know about Asahi's virtual Koshien,
カメラ都合なんですよ。サブカメラなんです。それ持ってる。
Okay, so this is the link here.
サブはシャッタースピード変えなくて。
I think most people probably, but if you don't, I think this is where you can watch live streams from overseas.
去年の決勝カードの仙台育英と東海大相模だったんですけど、うちは東北と横浜同じ県勢だったから。
そういう。So there's actually a matchup this year. Last year it was
東海大相模
and Sendai Ikue.
神奈川代表と
It was a team from Kanagawa and Miyagi. And of course this year we have the same thing with Tohoku Koko and Yokohama. So Kanagawa and then of course
宮城大
宮城だ
1回戦から
first round.
こういうことがあるのが甲子園です。
And he said that's what Koshien's all about. Or that's what can happen with Koshien.
こうできないことが起こるのが甲子園ですから。
Things that you can't imagine end up happening.
賛否両論ありますけどね。賛否両論ありますけど、見る側は楽しみましょう。
Yeah, he's just it's ですよね、甲子園は高校どこだったかな。
僕ですか。僕は都立上。
都立。そう、こっちは結構いいところ。
ベスト4まで行った。
So his school is 都立上東。
甲子園2回出てる。
And they finished in the final four this year. They actually did okay, but and they've been to the Koshien twice.
僕は出てない。
But he hasn't unfortunately been able. He never made it to the Koshien.
2回目の甲子園を見て入学したんで。
He saw the second Koshien and then decided to go.
倍率がすごかった。
Very difficult to get in. But so he's actually he actually has that kind of.
でそこに今年うちが負けたのが関東一高。
And his team lost to Kanto Ichiko this year. So he was.
そういう。
And of course they made it to.
負けたところが。をちょっと応援するかなみたいな気持ちが。
And he feels like he should cheer for them because they beat his school.
じゃあ僕がですね、そろそろ行かないといけないんで、なんか NPB としたいことがあるんであれば、僕の代わりに優秀なライターの直樹を置いていくんで。
Okay. Yes, shave his head. 頭。
はい。坊主してましたよ。
Yeah, he shaved his head just like everyone else. Well, Tensai Bucket, are you talking about when he played, or are you talking about because his team lost, he should shave his head?
なんて聞いた？あなたのチームを僕。
だと思うんですけど。Kind of hard to imagine him all the way. 今放送しない。
僕が
No, he's not going to do that.
なんか悪いことしたと思われる。
Yeah, there's kind of a weird stigma with shaving your head. Shave your head in Japan, it's like you're admitting to something. You're admitting you did something wrong. So.
次の配信の時に僕なんかしたんだと思ってください。
He says if he shows up bald for the next live stream, it means he's probably done something. But okay, he actually has to jet now. Yes, Tensai Bako is here at the first stream.
Thank you.
Will be if there are questions about Koshien or NDP. He says, see you again next time. 結構はい来ました。Sitting beside me now is Naoki Miwa. This is his first time in a stream, so he might be a little nervous.
野球は下手くそだよ。
下手くそ？
野球下手くそ。
He's according to Kaz, Naoki sucks at baseball. So he likes playing baseball. He likes watching baseball. But he also works at Baseball Times.
Thank you.
If you guys have, be here. I'm going to leave the stream open here for a little bit longer. If you do have questions about NP or about Koshien, and I guess Edwin.
Yes.
Let me ask you here. Are there any players you're keeping an eye on right now? I'm assuming you probably have one or two players that you're sort of interested in seeing.
Usually it's something
Or
where
more about teams.
I for what I do for my blog and whatnot, when I do analysis on teams, then I try to identify players. I don't necessarily have like favorite players to watch per se or teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, I do have favorite teams that I follow and whatnot, but in general, for me, it is a lot about watching it.
Okay.
But you know, I think if anybody's read my Twitter or things like that, I do have preferences on teams that I root for, but it's not, and it's most of it's not necessarily a specific team, but just more about the idea of Koshien when I first found out about it back in the day, which is like a decade ago. Um, having followed it now for 10 years, when I first came in, I thought about the whole romanticism of a high school team, playing for their community, getting to Koshien to play on the big stage in front of the nation. But in recent times, what I found is, you have teams like, Osaka Toin, where, they basically dominate the scene, and you have a lot of people rooting for them just because they're the big powerhouse school.
Right.
And for as boring as it can be, I like it when I see a Clark Kokusai or a Shirizu Amagasaki or a Kadena, make it, even if they're not necessarily the strongest team that people would want in the field.
So yeah, okay. So I guess there are a couple different ways you can watch the Koshien. One is with all players. I think there are people here. At least I know a few people that tend to follow public school, private school. So I guess in some ways, it is a lot. I think um, I tend to follow based on players. But the thing is, the problem with that though is that sometimes teams get eliminated fairly early on.
Right, because you may have like the ace pitcher, but if he
Right.
doesn't have a supporting cast around them, they won't
Yeah.
make it very far.
Exactly. So in that sense, following by player is not always the smartest move, or not just the smartest move, but it's not always as fun. So
And the other thing is those teams that you follow, especially like an Osaka Towing, will be able to get that talent that people might follow. Right?
yeah, yes, makes sense. So which schools are you really following this year? Is there do you have favorites, or it doesn't have to be a team that's strong, but just a school you really like?
Uh, Sometimes a lot of it goes back to things that happened in the past, like, you know, uh, way back when I was a fan of Seiho out of Nagasaki Prefecture when they got annihilated in a final one year, because it was just like you reach the final only get to lose, I think, what it was, like 21, 22 to nothing. And then eventually they came and won the Koshien tournament under ace Takeru Imamura, who now is a reliever with the Hiroshima Carp. Um, you know, I was, Mie might be a private school, but they always seem to have, and this is just from me observing them, like a blue collar mentality, like the city that they're in Matsusaka. And personally, I think they got jobbed when they lost to Osaka Towing that one year, but that's just another story. Because whatever timeout that the Osaka Towing people called or whatever, I think was just there to rattle the pitcher and get him off his rhythm. But um, I guess another team that I generally try to root for, even though they've had their chances, is Kosei, Hachinohe Gakuin Kosei, because you have a team that reaches 3 consecutive Koshien finals, has to play Nichidai-san and Osaka Towing twice for the championship. You know, it's you could say that, like, yeah, they reached the finals there. You should let somebody else have their chance, but at the same time, it's like it's another thing that I point to where it's those famous teams that people follow. They want them to win the championship, and it's like, well, Aomori is not exactly known as a baseball prefecture. It'd be nice if they could win one for once. I mean, even back when in 2006, when I actually went to Koshien myself, and I got to see Komai Tamakamai versus Waseda Jitsugyo. Like, even back then, I was rooting for Komai Tamakamai to win their third, even though it was their third, just because they were a team from Hokkaido. And I mean, as you can see in recent times, most schools from Hokkaido don't fare very well, except for maybe Tokai Dayon in recent times.
True. Yeah. I guess Hokkaido is not necessarily considered a baseball.
You have a lot of these regions now, the Chugoku region, for instance, where a lot of this, because of declining populations and whatnot, you have prefectures that are holding tournaments of like 24 to 30 schools. You compare that with like a Tokyo that has, it has hundreds, but not only that, but has good talent, whereas there's just not as much. And any talent that might have come from that prefecture goes off elsewhere because, they want to be on a team that probably could get to Koshien and actually do well. At least that's the way I see it.
That is one of the problems for the smaller, all the good players tend to go to stronger people.
Although you actually see some cases in which it's the reverse. So when Risho Daishonan made it that one year, I commented oddly that not one single person from that roster was actually from, I think it was Risho Daishonan's in Shimane, I think it is. And so not a single person was actually from that prefecture, that everybody else had actually come there instead. But I mean, it's a private school, so you can, I'm assuming that there's like ways that they can get people over there more than like a public school can.
Yeah, they've probably recruited a lot.
Yeah. So now, people ended up rooting for Risho Daishonan for other reasons, mostly because, what was it, their manager had died earlier.
Yeah.
And they were, not only that, but they had lost about 4 or 5 members due to the flu, including their ace, I think. So, and they still managed to win a game. So realistically, it's just, for me, looking at the field and everything, I always try to look at teams that have made it their first time and see, do they have a chance at actually like getting past the first round, or is it just, here's your thanks for winning congratulations on winning your prefectural tournament, there's your prize, you get to play a game, and then you're headed back home. Try to see if I can maybe find a place where one of those teams might be able to just stay a little bit longer and enjoy the experience.
やっぱり、あと、
でも大阪は、
他もまあ、だから、地元の方も、だけじゃなくて、やっぱり、横浜大会を
I just asked Naoki who he was rooting for right now. And, he's from Osaka, so he's rooting for Osaka. He's also living in Tokyo now. So Kaz is rooting for Kanto Daiichi and Kanto Ichiko, and he Chioji. And also, he was watching parts of the tournament, so he's also. I guess there's different ways. I mean, Japanese people too. I think sometimes it's their own schools that they root for, or prefectures. And I guess if you're living in Kanto, you're kind of lucky because you are living in a competitive area with. I guess maybe not lucky, but kind of surrounded by strong schools. That doesn't necessarily mean you go very deep into Koshien. Yeah, I don't know who I'm voting for. Okay, Edwin, think, is there anything you'd like to add? I mean, is there any sort of schedule you have for your site about, like, will be
I won't necessarily I don't necessarily have a schedule of what I'll have up, but I'll definitely try to have translated rosters, translated brackets, and I'll see if I can't get something similar to what I did for Koshien, where I try to grade each team based upon what information I've been able to dig up, because obviously since I haven't been able to, watch a whole lot. I mean, I've been able to watch some games, but not everything.
Right.
So, just pulling information, box scores, see what I can do in terms of giving my analysis on teams. And, obviously, this is just an amateur opinion because, when it came to the Koshien tournament, I had rated Chiba Gakuen like, pitching a C and batting like a C minus, and they ended up winning it all. So,
well, I mean,
you can't really take a whole lot of what I say. Although I did give Takamatsu Shogyo like a B plus, B plus. So again, reaching the finals was okay, but although they didn't even make it this year, but that's another story. But at least the best that I can do given the fact that I'm not there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, I mean, I'm always amazed by how much you actually post on your site. I mean, I mean, there's just so much, there is a lot of Kokoyaki going on, and actually pay attention to all of it. You seem to be following quite a bit of it. Have there. Yeah, if you post anything, let me know, and I'll up at YakyuDB as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it'll probably be like, I think the first thing that'll come up will be the translated brackets. Although, realistically, that's probably not as as hard to do. But after that will either be the rosters, or maybe I'll have something in terms of the matchups and team analysis first before the rosters, because that will take a lot of effort.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on your site, and I mean, I might do another stream during the Koshien. You're more than welcome again. I do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule today. It's just your time.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm glad to come on. I mean, I'm not sure how much I really gave today, but you know.
Well, I mean the stream during the actual lottery was bad on my end. I dropped the ball there too. So there's
Well,
I think
that's just more of logistical stuff, right? I mean, you're just taking stuff. You're just trying to watch the TV, and you're pretty much subject to what they show you. So, you know, you can't really stream it yourself. So, you know, you do what you can. I'm just saying that on my end, it's like, well, you know, as much as I'm able to follow, you know, trying to hopefully I've been able to actually be a make a contribution today.
oh no, I think you did. Thank you very much. I mean, you definitely gave us you gave us some good insight on some of the teams. And the thing with I think information is that you've been following it for 10 years, so you have a lot of information stored up in your head that you can reference. That's especially with the Koshien, I think that can be very useful. Very much appreciate. Do this again next year, or again, like I might be doing another stream during the Koshien, and probably be live streaming the draft. Might,
Hmm.
again, yes, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Just drop me a note. And definitely try to touch.
Yeah. All right. Next couple of days will definitely be busy as coaching gets ramped up, though. So,
Yeah.
if I do need anything, I'll definitely drop you a line.
Okay, so I will let you go. I think it's pretty late there now. Talk to.
Yeah, it's past one. Like I said earlier, or we were talking earlier. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of an insomniac lately, which will probably serve me well once the games actually get started.
Okay. I don't sleep much either, so I know what that's like.
But lucky for you, the games are actually during the day.
Yeah, lucky. I don't have to stay up all night. That's true. Okay, so yeah, I'll let you go now.
Great, thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night or afternoon.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Now, going back to the stream. Sorry, guys. Um, do you guys have any questions? There's Naoki's here sitting beside me. Um, he does um, he does have a lot of information about the MPB as well. If you have questions about the MPB, you can direct them to him, or you can direct them to me. Either way, um, or if you have questions about Koshien, or something about the schedule, I'll be posting the schedule um, later today, and then I'll be posting a list of players to watch tomorrow, hopefully. Um, and if there's anything else you guys want, let me know. I can try to get it posted um, at some point. I may try to do the Koshien stats database thing again. I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Roller Coaster Freak, how does the Lions manage situation of 2017? We were hearing rumors that Tetsuya Shiozaki may not be in order. 今、で西武監督の 状況というか来年の
はい。
また、交代する場合はどういう形になるのかってでその、塩崎っていう噂も前あったけども、今はそういうどうなん
本来の周りは塩崎に使い続けてあれだったんですけど、本人があまりやりたくない話もあり、で、正直次に困ってるっていうところは何にしようかっていうのは、
それとも変えるっていうのもほぼ 100% 変える、それとももちろんチームがあまり今年うまくいってないから、変えなきゃいけないような流れになってるかもしれないですけど、
周りの評判もあんまり良くない。選手も、戦力的には選手はいるはずなんで、でもキャンプとか見に行っても、あんまりこう盛り上がってないというか、モチベーションがなかなか上がらないっていう話を
そういう監督のせい
監督の手腕っていうのは、ちょっと今疑問に言っているので、新しい新監督っていう声はやっぱり各方面からあるんですが、なかなかじゃあ誰かっていうところ
外部からとか他のチームは外部とかでやってでも、何にも本当にないっていうか、
そうですね。
Right, so Miwa Naoki just right now said that Shiozaki is a person they would like, a person the Lions would like to hire as manager, but it seems like he's not really interested right now. I don't know if that's because of the current situation the Lions are in, or if it's just he's not ready, but this doesn't seem like he's really interested. Based on how the team is currently, I think he said even like during spring camp, there wasn't a lot of energy in the dugout. The players really didn't seem motivated, and based on that, it would seem like there will be a change in 2007 for the 2017 season, but it just doesn't seem like there's at least he hasn't heard of any possibilities in terms of who might be next. Seems like they're looking, but there's nothing really there yet. So, Tensai Baka trying to verify if Jekyll is headed to become just a second team, and I think he has to go from 6th place to 1st place to 6th place, along with Yokohama. これはこれは情報的に難しいかもしれない。横浜が、1回6位から1位から6位、1959年から11年、でヤクルトもそれ可能性があるんです
去年優勝して、その前が最下位だったんで、
今年また最下位であれば、それ以外に他のチームありますか？
これはデータをひっくり返さないと即興できない。
Yeah, he said that's not something. Tensai Baka, it's not. He doesn't. He can't recall anything off the top of his head. It's something he'd probably have to look up. But聞いたことは
楽天が、最近では楽天が優勝の予定を持ったりしたのが出ました。その前がない。
He's checking around to see. But yeah, that's kind of a difficult question. Good question. Tensai Baka, where did you hear about that from somewhere, or was that something you figured out?
ドラムないんじゃないかな。優勝の翌年に最下位になったチームが、まず3チームしか
ああ、はい。
なくて、おそらくですが、前の年を調べて最下位からっていうのはちょっとなかったと思いますね。6-1でございますね。
6-1-6。
おそらく、おそらく初めて。
Yeah, it seems like there might be only two teams. Swaros のファンで、今年があまりにもひどいから、それを他のチームやったかっていうことを調べた結果、その横浜が見つかったんだけど、Yeah, and looking so far, I mean, he's checking around, but it doesn't seem like. I think that those may be the only two. Well, only one team. If Yakult does finish in last place this year, then that would be the second team. I think. その3チームって太陽。Okay, they're just. I think Taiyo finished. They won a championship and they finished in last place twice. 1961, 1960, 1961, and then 1978, 1979. And then there's. And then the Eagles. 2013, 2014. So yeah, those are the only three teams that have actually won a championship and then finished in last place the next year, which means I don't think.
ただ、この楽天の時は田中将大が移籍したので、一気にだとで、最下位になった。
その前の年は最下位じゃないんですよね。
最下位じゃなかったと思います。3位以下で。
Okay, so yeah, there will only be those three possibilities, and of course, one of them did actually go 6-1-6. But I don't think Rakuten was in last place the year before they won a championship. They were in fourth the previous year, so they went 4-1-6. So yeah, it's just right now it's just Yokohama, and if Yakult does it again, or if Yakult does it this year, then they'll be the second team in MPB history. Any other questions? Yeah, not a very good club to be in, I guess. He's done it. Okay. If there are no questions, well, here we go. Any college players worth scouting or learning about that are draft eligible? 大学生でいい選手。まあ、今年ドラフトでかかる可能性がある選手。Well, there's Seigi Tanaka. He's probably the top. I think he has some shoulder inflammation, so he's Soka University. Oh. Tensai Baka, yeah. Hold hold on to that one thought. Let me see if there's any other college players. 他になんか今噂になってる高校、大学生選手とかって。There's one player. Oh, 東大のやだ。There's a Tokyo University player, Kohei Miyadai. He kind of made a name for himself this year, and I think he made the Japanese national team as well. He played both at the all university, or all collegiate, Japan USA tournament, and then of course I think he also went to the Harlem baseball league as well. I'm not sure exactly how high of a draft pick he's going to be, but I think there is some interest in him. I think he's a smart pitcher. He doesn't have like amazing stuff. He might be a third year though. Yeah, he's a third year, so he would actually be next year. But yeah, I guess that's someone to be watching. Could be an interesting person moving forward. There's a player called Nabatame. He's Nabatame Tsubasa. Nabatame Tsubasa Nabatame. Checking through some.大学生じゃないけども、社会人野球の山岡。そうですね、山岡も。There is industrial league player that's kind of turning. Well, he's been sort of turning heads since he graduated from high school and then went to the industrial league. But his name is Yamaoka. He's playing for Tokyo Gas, Taisuke Yamaoka. He also I think he'll be in the draft this year. He'll probably be a high pick. He's from Satoshi Ko, and he was actually a player Darvish. Um, Darvish really liked. He said that when Darvish saw his delivery, he said that he had a really good delivery, really good mechanics. Um, so that he's a player to be definitely a player to keep an eye on during the draft. Yeah, I'll most likely be publishing a list of players to watch for the draft as well before the draft. I'm not sure when, but it'll definitely be after the Koshien. Most likely, I don't know, maybe a few days before the draft. I do have that page. I posted this link last time. Now this is kind of like a jumble of players from both high school and college, um, and also different years. So there's a chance that they'll be mixed in, but there's a good mix of high school player prospects and college prospects, both pitchers and position players. There's also a good number of Koshien players in there as well. So that might be a good list to look at. And Tensai Baka, a little birdie told me that he heard Yakult will be cleaning house after the season. Have you heard any rumors along this line? ヤクルトの方、なんか噂として、ヤクルトが実はあまりにもひどいから全部リセットっていうか、例えばバレンティンも持ったし契約が終わりですよね。なのでなんかこう、リセットだともう結構選手、そういう助っ人も結構年も取ってきてるし、今回の本土セクの方がいたわけで、全部ゼロからそれやるないそういうなんか噂とかなんかそういうヤクルトの方から、ヤクルトの方からちょっと外国人の会社としてはまだわからないでももともとヤクルトはなんだちょっと言い方悪いかもしれないけど、毎年優勝を決められるんだよねっていうか、なのでファンも会議でも我慢できるファンが多いので、他の巨人とか阪神よりかはずっとみんな伸びて、ベストアウトに次がありたいとかあるので、そこまで特化みたいなことはあんまりしないんじゃないかなと思います。Yeah, now he just said that Yakult, he hasn't really heard anything like that, and that as far as he knows, Yakult tends to be a fairly patient team. They're not really, they're not kind of, they're not the kind of team that really hits the panic button all that much. So I don't know if you really see them cleaning house. I mean, it's possible with like some of the foreign players, maybe maybe they'll end up going a different way than Valentine. They might not resign him. There may be some other foreign players that they'll look the other way on. But as far as he's heard, or as far as he knows, he hasn't really heard anything like that. But 監督とかが変わるとかそういうのもない。いや、監督まだ去年1年目で優勝したんで、コーチとかも。変わるとしたらコーチ数人入れ替えるとかあるかもしれないですけど、監督はおそらくまだ続ける。Yeah, I mean, in terms of even like the staff, the manager will probably be around. There might be someone, maybe a coach that gets replaced or something, but nothing major. Any other questions? By the way, did the audio improve? I'm not sure if it did or not. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's oh, but you were able to hear Edwin, right? Just not Naoki or Cobbs. I think before you said that you could hear Edwin, but you couldn't hear anyone else. Okay. Yeah, sorry. The Skype thing was a first time thing, and I didn't have any time to test it. Um, hopefully, we'll have that ironed out for, and if we do have another Skype guest, um, hopefully we'll have that ironed out for the next stream. And this is actually, I've never streamed before in this room before, so um, there's a lot of kind of ambient noise that's that I think might be causing some problems. Um, but but I guess the audio levels are okay now. Are they better or is it just still the same? And I think with Naoki right now, I think he's talking kind of quietly, so that might be another reason why you might have a hard time hearing him. Still the same. I'm not really sure that is. Well, I'll try to figure out what's going on. It might be something with the settings. Um, but, are there any other questions? Gets cut at times. Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if it has something to do with the AC here. It's kind of loud, and it might be causing some background issues. The microphone I'm using is actually it's a microphone on a laptop, so it's not the best. And I was actually trying to set up two cameras today, one for Edwin, but that didn't. I think that also might be causing problems as well. Um, okay, if there are no other questions, yes, thanks for joining us, Rollercoaster Freak. Good to have you. Okay, so I guess um, I, we don't really have anything scheduled in terms of the next kind of official stream. There might be kind of an unofficial stream during the Koshien where I'm sort of watching games and for streaming. Um, but in terms of another official stream, I'm not sure exactly when that'll happen. It might be sometime next month. Um, I'll try to keep everyone posted again. I've been really bad about that. I'll try doing a better job next time. Uh, and if you guys have questions for the stream, you can either save them up for the next stream, or you can post them over at YakyuDB.com. Um, either way is fine. And I guess that will be it for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Um, I know this was a first for us this year. I know it wasn't the greatest, but okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do. I did an update on YouTube, and I also did an update on Twitter. I'll definitely do those again for the next stream. But yes, thank you very much, everyone, for showing up, um, and I guess we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.